everyone. Welcome to the second episode of our podcast, Adaptive. I'm Gargi Moe.
And I'm Karan Sachdeva, and we're going with the co-host of today's episode talking about stem cell biology.
Today, we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Amruta Nayak. Dr. Amruta Nayak is the assistant professor here at Department of Biosciences and Technology, MIT World Peace University. Her expertise includes stem cell biology and tissue engineering.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are
Thank-
very, very excited to have you.
Thank you for inviting me for today's podcast.
So considering your expertise, what exactly are stem cells and why are they so important in biosciences and medicine?
So, stem cells are the specialized cells which have two important properties. The first property is self renewal, their ability to self renew themselves, and the second property is that they can differentiate into multiple specialized cells. So, self renewal means whenever a cell divides, it divides normally into two daughter cells. So, both the daughter cells normally have similar properties, but here one of the daughter cells retains the stemness and the second daughter cells gets differentiated into a specialized cell type. So this is how these cells have specialized properties, and hence they can differentiate into multiple cell types in our body. So in biosciences, they have a crucial role because they play important role during the development of an embryo. So they contribute to the multiple building blocks of our body, and you can actually study the embryonic development process by studying them, and you can also understand various mechanisms of development of organs by studying these cells. And in medicine, they have important role because these cells have contributed or have shown promising potentials in the regenerative properties. So they have regenerative properties, so you can use or apply them for certain degenerative disorders or in case of injuries.
Okay, ma'am, like following everything you just talked about, like you're very passionate about stem cells and everything. Can you tell us about the insights of your work using mesenchymal stem cells and the techniques and the technology you probably used in your research?
Yes. Good question, actually. This is very important question with respect to this topic. So, my research work, it involved study of mesenchymal stem cells, which is a type of adult stem cells, and its differentiation into osteoblasts. So, osteogenic potential of these cells was studied in my research. So, my focus of research is on osteogenic potential of the cells and their migration and survival for their therapeutic purpose. So for that, I was involved in the development of isolation protocol from different sources of the cells. So I isolated mesenchymal stem cells from bone marrow, adipose tissue, and I have used human samples particularly. So for that, I have used various techniques like flow cytometry. Then I have used various techniques for characterization of the cells, like for example, confocal microscopy. Then for checking the gene expression, I have used qPCR, quantitative PCR, and I have also done Western blotting to check the protein level expression of certain type of signaling molecules. So for investigating the mechanisms, I have used these techniques. In addition, I have also used some advanced techniques which are used in this particular field. So those are in vivo cell imaging system. So whenever you are infusing the cells in experimental animal models, in that you can track the cells after infusion, where the cells are going, to which organ, after what time they are going or they are reaching to that site. You can track them. Similarly, you can use a live cell imaging system where you can check the motility and migration of the cells when they are actually in culture. I have also done ectopic bone formation assay, where you check the potential of these cells to form the bone under in vivo conditions. So again, you are using some experimental animal models for that. So in this department here at DOBT, we have our animal cell culture lab and tissue engineering laboratory, where we have this setup We can culture stem cells. We can check their differentiation potentials by performing various assays. We have qPCR systems and Western blot systems. In addition, in collaboration with Revity, we have a excellence center where we have these excellent machines where we can do in vivo imaging system for the experimental animal models, and we can also perform the confocal microscopy to check the protein-protein interaction.
Wow, that sounds so fascinating. So when we talk about stem cells, one question which everyone has is how close are we to using these cells to fully regenerate damaged organs or tissues?
Yes. So we are definitely making significant progress for using or for creating artificial organs. But till now, we have got a, a success for creating some simple tissues like skin, cornea, and cartilage. So these tissues are can be created and have been used in therapies, but we still require some research and more robust clinical trials to create complex tissues like, for example, heart, liver, kidneys. So for that, we are still a little bit far away for creating them and for using them and transplanting them into the individuals.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm sure this inspires everyone to actually study stem cells. Yeah. Also, currently, bioinformatics, AI/ML is very much in vogue. So, what are the applications of bioinformatics or AI/ML in stem cells?
Yes. So, bioinformatics, yes, it has definitely revolutionized all the fields of biosciences. So, we can use bioinformatics tools for, defining the uh, pluripotency genes. You can also uh, like define or make a controlled differentiation of some of these stem cells to a specific lineage by programming or by studying them, their pluripotency genes or their differentiation markers, and then making them or diverting them to a specific type of cell. So we can use that machine learning and bioinformatics combination for that. That is one thing. And second thing is that you can definitely find out some of the biomarkers to check the regenerative ability of these stem cells. So this is how bioinformatics and machine learning can help us or aid the stem cell therapy in future.
That's so cool. Following the same question again, what do you think in the next 5 to 10 years? What advancements you think stem cells may we probably will get in the next 5 to 10 years, in your opinion?
Okay, so in my opinion, now the organoid cultures technique and 3D cell culture technique is coming up. So, if we, of course, all the investigators and researchers are thinking in that directions to create the mini organs using stem cells. So, you must be aware of different types of stem cells: embryonic stem cells, iPSCs, adult stem cells. All type of stem cells have now been used to create organoids, mini organs, or they have applications in creating 3D printed organs. So, if there is more research in this field in next 5 to 10 years, definitely we will be having drug screening at a faster way, then which is going to help in a personalized medicine. So I feel that these two techniques will help in next 5 to 10 years to reduce the time of treatment that the patients will get.
So, it can definitely revolutionize medicine. Yes. Also, following up on your answer, if you had to choose one, would you choose adult stem cells or embryonic stem cells and why?
Yes, it is a good question. Uh, I would lean towards adult stem cells because adult stem cells, they have the property of multi-differentiation. That is one thing, but they have less ethical issues. In addition, they have less tumorigenicity property when you are infusing them, and these cells, they have lower risk of rejection when you are transplanting them into an individual. So when you want to use them in therapy, you have to consider these points. So it depends on the context. If you want to use these cells for research, then I would say you should go for embryonic stem cells, because then using embryonic stem cells, you would come to know how the organ is developed. You come to know the mechanisms, signaling molecules, signaling pathways that are involved in any of the organ development. The spatial arrangement of these stem cells can be understood using embryonic stem cells and not adult stem cells. But if you really want to use them in therapies, then maybe you should choose adult stem cells.
That was very insightful.
And can you tell us what do you mean by rejection?
Yes. So the stem cells, when in context to the stem cells, when you are infusing them inside the body of an individual, so if it matches, if the phenotype, particularly the HLA typing, if it matches with that of the individual, then the cells of immune system of that individual, they will not attack on those cells. So if it does not match, the HLA typing does not match with the immune system of that particular individual, then those cells are recognized as foreign antigens, and then the immune system of that individual attacks on those cells. So it gets rejected. So there is immune reaction towards those cells, and those cells which are infused in the recipient are not at all accepted.
So you have worked at the NCCS as well. Can you tell us some more about your time there?
Yes, I would love to tell about my institution where I have done a PhD. So in NCCS or working at NCCS definitely has contributed. It plays a pivotal role in my research career, I would say. So, NCCS has state of art facilities, and the lab where I have worked, they have interdisciplinary collaborations with many reputed institutions. So, um, I have got an expertise in the stem cell research by developing the skills in isolation, culture, differentiation, then, developing the animal models for various degenerative disorders, because they have a state of art animal house there. And I have got a very good mentorship from eminent scientists there. So, definitely working on my research project for my PhD has played an important role at NCCS. In addition, I got 2 research grants when I was at NCCS for my postdoctoral research. So one of them is DBT BioCare, and the other one is DST Women Scientist A. Both of them were from Government of India, and both of these grants play significant role in shaping up my research career, which was given by the NCCS. Definitely.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just one last thing like we would like to ask you is that is there any specific advice you want to give to students who want to like pursue the field you're in?
Yes. The very first thing is that if you want to pursue career in stem cell biology, you should have knowledge, deep knowledge about cell biology, molecular biology, and immunology. These 3 subjects are very important when you are working with stem cells. The second thing is that you should have gained practical skills for the animal cell culture, and you should have got practical skills for some of the techniques, like, for example, performing certain assays, like maybe ELISA, some bioanalytical techniques, like, for example, performing flow cytometry, Western blotting, and qPCR. These are the basic techniques which you should be able to perform. In addition, what I will say that perseverance is the key. So one should have long-term dedication when you want to work in the field of stem cell biology to get the impactful research in this. So that's what I would recommend for the students who really want to come in this field of stem cell biology.
So it is like a marathon and not a sprint.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it correctly.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for coming. Genuinely, the adaptive team here is very grateful. Like we got so much knowledge on stem cells today. Like I didn't know half of it, but now I know a lot more. And definitely, we would love you to have if we have another opportunity, like where you can come as a speaker again.
Sure.
I would love to call you again.
And now I'm sure the next time anybody has an immunology lecture, they're going to be so much more interested after listening to this podcast and will have so many more questions to ask the man.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so sure. Thanks.